Thank you, Jeremy. 8 months since arriving in Topeka, Chris Vallejo is settling into his role as Topeka Police Chief and making his first visit to the Red Couch. Welcome to you, sir. Glad to have you finally have you here. You've heard all about it, right?
I've heard all about it.
It's just as red?
Yep, got my selfie. It's just as red.
Exactly,
So
exactly. 8 months in, how are you settling in? What progress do you feel like you've made with the department?
I think I'm settling in great. You know, the community, the Topeka community has just been wonderful and welcoming the entire time, not just to me, but my family as well. We're Topekans, and we're here for the long haul, and I've enjoyed meeting all the different community members, and that's a benefit of work coming to a smaller community. So I feel like I can be also not only just a part of it, but meet so many folks in such a short amount of time and make such great relationships.
You kind of mentioned that was your first priority, was meeting people, talking to people, visiting to people, not necessarily coming in and making any kind of sweeping change. Probably, I think, from the outside looking in, as far as media, the biggest thing we've seen is you have assistant chiefs now instead of majors.
Yeah, that's a small effect. It's more of a contemporary model of leadership. We went to the STAR system, as you see I'm wearing. We have assistant chiefs, now we have commanders as well. I have a chief of staff who's a 3-star assistant chief, and you have chief of police. So those are small operational things. But you mentioned talking to the community. That was very important for me, because who's this guy coming in from another entirely different part of the country? He's going to come in and lead our police department, not only externally but internally as well. You know, getting a lot of observing, listening and learning about what's working, what's not working, what community members want to see, and now it's time for some action.
And community members are going to have a chance to tell you a little bit more tonight. You have a feedback session. How many of these have you had?
We've had several in this form of NIA meetings, but this is a little bit more general for anybody to come. It's more of a community safety forum, not only to kind of give community tips on how to stay safe, give some of our data, you know, where we are in crime statistics and things like that, and also soliciting feedback from them of what else we could be doing.
So where are we when it comes to the crime data? You had that PACT initiative, and you talked about the success there. Overall, where do you feel like we are when it comes to crime data?
Well, we published the mid-year statistics, which are dramatically lower than last year and the 5-year average. Now, understanding that, you know, safety is a perception of where you live and what's happened. We understand July was a little bit of
a rough month.
It was a rough month. So we appreciate the community involvement, and we're also trying to be more transparent with press conferences and things like that, so people know exactly what's going on, like the month of July, and what those cases were about, and what we're investigating.
How important is community involvement, whether it be going to a feedback session like this, whether it be answering the door when a police officer knocks and said, there's a crime in the area, we need to ask you a few questions on maybe you saw something that you don't realize you saw. How important is that? Because you're right, if you're the one whose house was robbed, if you're the one whose car was broken into, if you're the one who heard the gunfire next door, your perception now becomes, I'm not safe.
Right, community collaboration is crucial. We look at our data, but that's only a small portion. Not everything gets reported. Not everybody calls in to report what they've seen. So getting that community trust to tell us the rest, what I like to say the rest of the story, is crucial. That's helped so much in just the past few months when I've been here emphasizing that, you know, leading to arrests and in cases such as homicides, and getting information that we otherwise would not have had without that collaboration.
Part of solutions is having officers on the streets. You have a recruit class. How does it compare to maybe past classes? And here's something we haven't seen in a while, inviting the public out to meet and greet the recruit classes. This is something that hasn't happened in a few years. Yes,
we currently have the 23 right now, the largest recruit class we've had in some odd years, maybe 8 to 10. So they're about a month in, and September 8th at Westridge Mall. Thank you to Advisors Excel for hosting that from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. We'll have her meet the recruits night. What I want is for the community to come out and meet their future public servants, and for our recruits to meet the community. And it's my hope that not only can they get to know each other, but set community expectations for what you want from your public servants going forward. I think it's best to get them in the academy, and that's something that I look forward to, and I hope a lot of people come.
Is there any rhyme or reason as to why we were able to have a recruit class of this size? Because is there an attitude shift happening? Because, you know, over the past 5 to 10 years, pinpointing, there was an incident in Dallas where officers were targeted. COVID happened. There were some disagreements when it came to just community relations overall between police and the community. Are we starting to see that change?
Nationally, you are, and Topeka's no different. It's very exciting for me. I review every applicant book that comes across our table for consideration, and most of these applicants are in their mid-20s. And what I've read, they come from different professions. They come from the teaching profession. We have a chiropractor that wanted to, become a police officer. We have people from the trades. We have veterans. And the one thing I think they all had in common was they were looking for something with a greater purpose, and really wanted to do that, serve that purpose here in Topeka.
Well, you can meet the recruits. First of all, tonight, head on over to Hillcrest Community Center. That is when the Community Safety Forum is taking place. It starts at 6 o'clock. Also, you can meet that TPD recruit class September 8th at 5:30 in the evening at West Ridge Mall Food Court. Chief Vallejo, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
We're going to find out